Many blessings and much love. We're moving on to channel message for Cancer signs. And obviously we're dealing with the Aquarius season. Really excited about this when it came up. In this particular one, there was some extra energy that came out. The sun theme came up again. And with the sun coming up as well as the Page of Cups, Cancer is really feeling a lot of emotional shifts taking place within their space, especially dealing with resistances and stubbornness, dealing with healing and emotional weights. This Aquarius season may be making you, I want to say, not necessarily on edge. It's really just dependent on what you've been experiencing within your space, because Cancer is a sign that's very intimate and likes to keep the people that they care about close to them. And usually people outside of them or people who are alien to them, they may not necessarily have the most compassion for, even though you have an emotional sensitivity or a natural emotional connectedness to people around you. You may not be open within your ego, or maybe so overly sensitive to the point that you may not let things that come off as alien or foreign in. So some of the energy of this Aquarius season may be throwing you off during this time as you try to hold on to things that give you solidarity and structure. So we have the themes coming up for our Cancers. Obviously Cancers are our water signs, I believe our cardinal water sign, very attuned to the moon, very sensitive to the moon, so they have a natural knowing or just deepness within their nature, within your nature. With Cancer, we pulled the theme, Kali theme of Bhavattarini, which is the iteration of Kali in her tantric priestess form, the priestess of karmic release, and manifests with the capacity to integrate higher divine energy even into the most stubborn patterning that has so far resisted healing. When momentum is building and you don't know how to stop fueling the fire or reverse the damage, she appears. Her presence indicates that this is a powerful time for spiritual work and healing practices. She will support the work, and much growth can come from it, particularly at this time. No matter how wild they may seem, the storms of your life shall be gentle. You shall emerge unharmed. So we're also dealing with some, as you can see, we're dealing with some transmuting taking place. There's some movement of some energy. You can see that just these ways in which we've been trying to put love, or there's been heavy emotions, have not been being, pretty much it's like watching water dash against the rock shore. It hasn't been the smoothest, and it's a lot of roughness. The goddess Kali as Bhavattarini is the tantric priestess of the karmic release and spiritual blessing. She liberates devotees from karmic struggles, especially those who keep repeating the same pattern with difficulty or different players. So this is also a call of karmic cycles, and especially since we're moving through the getting ready to move through this Mercury retrograde, you may be feeling like you keep coming back to the same thing over and over again, and some of you may not even see it, because sometimes you may deal with the same situation but they might have a different name, but you're not seeing that the energy is the same and that you keep doing the same thing over and over again. So coming during this time, your psyche, your spirit is frustrated being a wandering spirit, stuck haunting the same loop and ritual over and over again. Her presence in a reading implies the Divine Mother's blessing of a divine disruption. Sometimes the jolt of the disruption is such a shock that it temporarily is unpleasant, and we feel therefore that it is unwanted or harmful even. However, once we allow the workings of such disruption to realign our affairs, we will come to recognize and be grateful for what is taking place. We will see it as a saving grace rather than something we had to endure. This oracle predicts the ceasing of restrictive or negative influences. Ma is adorned with the flowering and recognition that she is celebrated during puja. Unlike the fierce Kali, who is adorned in fearsome places in the dead of night, the kind Bhavattarini is adorned in the celebrations of light. The puja, or sacred ritual, can be very simple. In the most basic form, it is a call to the divine ones to manifest on earth. It is the creation of light that has a cleansing effect on those doing the puja, and then the intentions and the receptivity are strong enough on the surrounding people and areas. So this is a call as well, When I hear the word puja, it really invokes this resonating vibration of rituals. And you can create rituals to anything that you do, because ritual is conscious intent into an action that you choose to repeat for something designated that you deem is worthy for this thing. And the more intent behind that ritual, the more that you manifest. So the fact that this Bhavatarini is adorning the light in the celebration, it's literally talking about light manifesting on earth. So this is also telling you that the light is so dense, or damn near so dense that it's damn near physical. You can feel this light. So what happens if we take such a congregation or an accumulation of so much divine light that it manifests on earth? That's saying that the light is coming on earth, or is coming through to the physical. Earth is physical. So there's so much divinity accumulated in one spot that it manifests through your ritual in the physical. How would the blessings of the goddesses of light look manifested in your situations if the divine light came down in your earthly situations and aligned it in the physical? What would that divine light look like? Ask yourself that when you take your divine breath. This is a creation light and has a cleansing effect on those who do the puja, right? Bhavatarini teaches us that our spiritual activities can have a positive influence, more so than we think is possible. In a reading, this foretells of a profoundly positive and expansive energy that will become available to us if we are willing to open our hearts to her. And how many times, especially for my Cancer, how many times are you stubborn or lack compassion? A Cancer, you are the sign that tends to have everything that you desire, but one of the things that you tend to lack is compassion, which is why we see the sun coming up here, because there may be fears surrounding the situation on how to change it. And the fact that the Page of Cups is here as well is really representing that the lens that you are looking at your situations with requires more maturity. Page is someone that is still learning. So you may be looking at your situation wanting it to be fertile, but you are not looking at it with the best lens. And obviously, Cancer being the most sensitive sign, sometimes your intuitive sense can be on hypersensitivity to the point that it can be obscured. You may not be looking at the situation in the broadness that you need to look at. You may be focusing your hypersensitivity on such a small detail that it blows the benefit of the knowing that you have in the situation and doesn't make it practical for you to use in the long term. You may be reducing down the benefit of what you're looking at to something that is so selfish and personal when it's meant for everyone. It's meant for more than just yourself. And you're not able to grow from the situation that you find yourself in because you're not letting go of some old things. You're not liberating. You're not feeling the warmth in the situation. You're not finding the wisdom in the situation. Bhavatarini can take on the form of Kali to destroy the results of our actions. Fali, which is fruit, and Harini, which is female, is literally something, or a female who takes something away. So she's literally letting you know that in her state of the Halarini, that she is a woman or the goddess or the female who takes away the physical things in your life that you've done. This is literally, if you translate it, a releasing of karma of actions that have already been done. So this is telling you to bring awareness to things that you've already done that you can't take back. No new actions in this present moment or in the future will undo what has already been done. This is simply calling you to bring into awareness that these things that have been done don't have to hold their weight or attachment to you, and that these sins can be given up. This is when you're looking for the sacrifice and the fuel for the sacrifice, the very energy that you're fixating yourself on is the very thing that you need to be releasing and letting go of your perspective of, so that you can liberate yourself and embrace this new energy. She can conquer our karma. Kali Phala Harini can cleanse our samkaras, or our mental psychic imprints. These are the familiar grooves that keep the soul repeating actions lifetime after lifetime. They are comprised of habitual ways of thinking and behaving that prevent us from evolving into something new and more suitable. They are our karmic stuckness, our limiting freedoms and creativeness. So for you, Cancer, this is literally Spirit telling you to get out of your fucking shell. You've been looking at the past, and remember, as a Cancer, the moon is literally symbolically the sign of the past. So with this retrograde coming up and with this energy coming from this full moon, this Aquarius season, you're literally focused on old things that cannot be fixed. It is time to release these old ways. When you take your divine breath and you feel this energy come up from your heart, don't get afraid, but ask yourself what these feelings are speaking to you. How would you feel and what would your life feel like if you were light, free of these things that you feel that you're sheltering and creating a home around? Aren't you ready to do something new within your space? To liberate yourself so that you can bring out that warmth? So that you don't have to be so selfish and in your ego and so emotional to the point that we can reach no resolutions and compromises? Aren't you ready for that healthy change? Aren't you ready to sacrifice those things that you keep holding on to so that that karmic release can take place and you can feel lighter and sweeter in the divine grace that you deserve? Ashe. Much love and many blessings.